Dead Chow Do a Podcast episode number 48. How are you doing, Alexander? I just tripped over my words for a second.
Well, we're gonna keep that intro though. That was shocking. I
Yeah.
didn't know we were going into it, but I'm doing pretty well, Andy. How are you?
You know, I feel like that's going to be my response to every single week.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
I mean, I don't have bad weeks ever.
yeah. Anything new going on? Anything exciting?
No.
Nothing at all.
Literally nothing.
It's weird.
Is
It's
it?
weird.
I
Well, it's
feel
like
every week I have nothing going on.
it's got to get monotonous, man.
No, I'm just fine.
Really?
To
So-
quote that artist that I don't think of his name, life is good.
I don't know who that is.
Uh,
I have no clue. But I feel like there's a lot of artists who have probably used that phrase over the course of time. So while you're looking that up, what have you
Probably.
been watching? What have you been playing this week?
I've been playing Madden 20.
Mm-hmm.
I played a game of Madden 25 for giggles.
Oh.
Um,
How does that hold up?
I lied. I played a quarter. I quit. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's super arcadey, I guess, compared to the modern.
Yeah, I feel like if you go the further back you go, the more arcadey it gets. Like, I will always love the mid 2000s Maddens, but they were pretty arcadey. Like, let's not kid ourselves, Like, at the
Yeah.
core, it wasn't something that was very sim heavy.
Yeah, I'm be honest with you, the song is never gonna be found.
What song?
So,
You're still looking for that song?
I mean, I was in my playlist.
Oh, okay.
It's in my Apple Music, and I realize it's not in my YouTube Music, so
Oh, okay.
it will never be found.
Well,
Other than that, I beat Link's Awakening.
that's fast.
I mean, it's been 5 days. Or no,
Yeah.
it's been a week.
Still pretty
Tomorrow will
fast.
be a week. I watched Monsters Ball, Finding Neverland, and Stranger Than Fiction, our weekly film club series, all directed by Mark Forster. You can check out my ratings for those on letterboxd.com.
Yeah.
And then I watched the new Netflix movie Between the Two Ferns.
Oh. I've never even heard of that one. Was it any good?
It's funny. It's a comedy starring
okay.
Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, okay. Good for
And
him.
to basically tell you what it is, it's like he's a network. He is like a. Do you know the like how Tom Green started? I can't think of the words. Like the shows on public access. He has like
Yeah.
a talk show
Yeah.
where Will Ferrell is like this billionaire. And Will Ferrell thinks he's hilarious, so he sends his celebrity friends to get interviewed by him. And it's like super awkward, and it's just like funny moments from it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
cool. I
the summer.
kind of miss local access TV. I don't even know if it's still out there. Like the old
I
UHF
don't know.
days. I remember you used to have
Couldn't tell ya.
yeah, you couldn't tell me because you probably weren't even
The
alive
only
when
show I
UHF
watch
was
is
a thing.
C-SPAN.
Oh, really? I highly doubt that. Highly
I
doubt
used to have
that.
C-SPAN on like 24/7.
Yeah, I've been
I never watched it,
Yeah.
but it was on for
Well,
the memes.
See, I'm a real big Bloomberg guy. Like I kind of fell into that lately with my ventures into the stock market. So I watch Bloomberg every afternoon and just kind of have it running in the background, and I'll be like, oh, look at that, corn is up, oh, oil's down. It's fun. So this week I have been playing a lot of Madden, obviously, World of Warcraft, Forza Horizon 4. I bought Link's Awakening. Plan on doing a series on my channel for that, so I'm looking forward to that as well. And just kind of dabbling in some Switch stuff with the wife, Mario Party, things like that. Mario Party's great,
Yeah.
dude. I can't say enough about it. Every time I play it, it's fun, but I can never win. Like last time, I thought I had a win for sure, and it's those stupid bonus stars, man. They get me every time. So I've been playing that, and then watching this week. Still trying to finish up Umbrella Academy. I think I got like 2 more episodes to go. It does kind of pick up a little bit towards the end, so I'm kind of. I know last week I was kind of lukewarm on it. It's kind of warming up. I'm hoping it ends well. obviously it's playing towards a second season, probably a third one in addition to that, because those streaming shows, it's always like 3 or 4 seasons. And then I watched
3.
well, there you
Sorry.
go.
To quote the Netflix CEO.
Okay, so we'll see how that goes, and then watch The Room with my wife, the 2000, I think it's 2003 or 2004 classic from
Hi, Mark.
Tommy Wiseau, yeah, and me and my wife really, really enjoyed watching that one. It was her first time watching it. I've seen it many times, and it's something that like I've always felt was okay. It's a bad movie, but there are like these little moments of brilliance in it, and there are these like it's like a cool story that goes into it. And then we watched the Disaster Artist, which is kind of like, I don't even know what you would call it. Like it's not really a documentary. It's like a retelling of the story based off of Greg Sestero's book. And it has James Franco, Dave Franco in it, Seth Rogen. James Franco. I do.
You should check out Neil Breen movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you anything about them, but they're
I like
all
his
masterpieces.
I like his work just because it's so out there and there's nothing like it, and it does stand on its own.
Brain movie.
It's just one of those weird things, man, where you go, it is art because it's original, and like it does try to get to a point where it evokes emotion. So it's like, is it flawed? Absolutely, but something that's flawed could be beautiful as a work of art too. So I really liked it. My wife liked it. We're actually trying to see if there's like a live screening of The Room, because they still put it in theaters every once in a while now since it's a cult classic. So we're hoping to check one of those out.
Yeah.
And then been watching a lot of NFL. I'll tell you that. Like every Sunday is just so great, man. It's my 17 favorite Sundays of the year. I just sit there and watch football all day.
Only 17? You hate the postseason. Just hate it.
Well, no, like the postseason's okay, but the postseason, they play 2 games on Saturday, they play 2 games on Sunday, and it's just not as much.
That. I hate the postseason. Postseason sucks.
I know, but I like the regular season because I get to watch 12, 13 games a week, sometimes as many as 16 when there's not a bye week. So, and I love the drama towards the end of the season, trying to win your division, trying to get in a wild card. Last year, the Ravens and the Steelers were fighting really hard over the AFC North. It came down to the very last game. I love that drama. I think that's what makes the NFL so successful. The postseason, while it is exciting, it's not as exciting as that posturing for me in the middle and late end of the season. And then Alex, at this point, what?
Oh, never mind. Continue.
Oh, I was going to say, at this point in the season, what I really like is seeing teams try to come together. Like they might have added a lot of new players. They might have lost a lot of players. And it's that feeling out process, and you kind of see like what teams are going to be good, what teams are going to be bad.
Andy. So, Alexander, you made a mistake 2 episodes ago.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to put it in the doc for last week. So,
oops, we made a mistake. Here's a correction. So I dubiously said that Moneyball was a DCD Film Club pick from the listeners, and I said that it was from Daniel of The Reasons I'm Broke, and it turns out it was actually Dumb as Sphinx. So, sorry, Sphinxy. I loved Moneyball. It was great. And I think my confusion came in because I know Daniel really likes the movie Moneyball, if I'm not mistaken, so that's probably where I got that screwed up. But I stand by what I said. That was a great listener pick. So, my bad. But we corrected it.
Yeah.
Took us 2
moving
weeks.
on to listener questions. Speaking of Daniel,
he
submits, YouTube takes verification badge away from many content creators, and by many, almost all of them.
Yeah. Kind of like, what's the point of a verification badge if you take it away from anybody who's not, I don't know, NBC, Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, any of that garbage?
I mean, I get it, but I feel like everyone should be grandfathered in that already had it, if that makes sense.
Like most policies, like when they took away monetization from channels for not meeting higher criteria, I felt like the right move would have been to just grandfather everybody in that was already in it. The good news is I know, like, even myself personally, as someone who was out of the monetization program, I worked my way back in.
Yeah.
It was hard, but I did it. And I kind of value the work that I had to put in to do that, because it was a rewarding experience.
Yeah.
But with this in particular, like, I actually know multiple content creators that lost their verification badges, and I think it's a bad move on YouTube's part, mainly because, one, it's impossible for those types of content creators to not view it as a little bit of a slap in the face. Yeah. And I do think that it goes away from the original intention of YouTube, which was, it's the name YouTube. It's about smaller content creators bringing something to a large audience. Like, that was always kind of the pie in the sky ideal of what YouTube was supposed to be. And I feel like
that's
they're kind of
YouTube great.
Well, yeah, and like now I feel like they're kind of moving towards this. Well, we really want to do more mainstream media stuff. And like, if you don't believe me, go sign out of your YouTube account, open an incognito browser, and just go to YouTube's main page, and you'll see it's all a bunch of late night crap and news network crap. And
for those,
I don't have any interest in that.
Yeah, for those that don't think, oh, it's just a check mark, it does ruin with growth. If you have a verification, like if you have the verification, when your videos, your recommended side would always be your videos on top. If you're not verified, your recommendations are just listener, like whatever the listener wants. Like how to explain this?
No, I know
It'd
you're
be
saying
like stuff that you're interested in.
Yeah,
but if you're verified, the top like 3 or 4 will always be the creator that it was the video for.
I also think that it's the main thing that I had a problem with was, like, let me use Bengal as an example. Anybody could now go rip his logo, create a YouTube profile that says Bengal, and go in his comments section and just say whatever. Yeah. And most people would be smart enough.
They do have a check mark for your own comments on your own video.
Okay. So what about...
Or like you're like highlighted if you're the creator on your own video.
I just think
but someone could technically pick Bengal, go on to a not the expert video, and comment trash.
See, I hate that. You know, because to me that's the intention behind it, is that there should be some sort of verification. Twitter's done similar things too in the recent past. I'm really... It scares me to a point. I almost feel like YouTube eventually will become this platform that doesn't care at all about smaller content creators. And some people would probably tell me, Alex, that day's already come. But I would be very frustrated if I was one of them. Not that I'll ever have to worry about it. Especially now. Like, I could hit 100K subscribers and I'm not going to get it. So there you go.
And Susan also did apologize. I want to put that in there for this. She said, to our creators and users, I'm sorry for the frustration, hurt that we caused. We, with our new approach to verification while trying to make new implements, we missed the mark. As I write this, we're working to address your concerns, and we'll have more updates soon.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I really just don't feel like there was any need to fix it. It wasn't broken. It was one of the few things on YouTube where I could say it's not broken, you know? But much like the YouTube Studio beta that they're shoving down everybody's throats, which, by the way, I hate the interface.
And the YouTube Upload beta.
I hate the interface. Everything's so big, and you can't quickly move around and do stuff like you can.
The new one has like better analytics.
The analytics are better. For doing
everything else, the original's better.
Yeah, the original, to me, it was like, I don't know how to say this. When I look at user interface, because I'm a big computer guy, you guys know this, I like everything to be as small as possible where I can still read it, so I can get as much information on one page as possible. And then with like the YouTube Studio beta, I feel like everything, it's very stylized. They want everything to be bigger icons, bigger font and all this. And like, even when you turn the font all the way down on your internet browser, it's just still too big for me. And I feel like I can't quickly get around and do stuff. And like,
that's what she said.
Yeah, exactly. That's the name, but that's the name of the game in content creation is like, I don't want to have to spend 20 minutes doing an upload, if I don't have to. And I don't want to have to spend more time organizing playlists and all that. I just thought everything was fine the way it was. Maybe just add some stuff onto it. But anyway, I digress. Moving on to our next listener question. Thanks, Daniel, for that listener question. Moving on to next listener question here. It comes from Ruben Jim at Cuban Slim on Twitter. He asks, what teams have surprised you the most as we are 3 weeks into the season? Good standouts and bad standouts. Predictions on how many wins the winless teams can get. Andy, I'll let you lead off.
The San Francisco 49ers. My team. They're just amazing. They're currently 5th. If you on footballoutsiders.com, they had the 5th highest chance of winning the Super Bowl right now. And at the start of the year, I didn't even think they could make the. I was like, they're fringe wildcard team. According to DVOA, which is a statistic to, you could argue the 49ers are 3-0 against bad teams, but DVOA is it. How do I explain this? It doesn't factor in schedule.
Value over average.
It's defensive adjusted value over average.
Okay.
So it takes your opponent and averages them out and how you perform. They're the 3rd best team in the league in DVOA, behind the Cowboys and the Patriots. They're the 7th best offensive DVOA, 2nd best defense. They're playing amazing. Like, it's just, 49ers are awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
So, who's been a bad standout?
The Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay.
They are 2-1, but they're not winning games. Like, obviously they are. Technically, they're winning games, but they're not performing how the Chargers, a Super Bowl contender, at the start of the season, is supposed to be performing.
Before we have to do oops, we made a mistake. Here's a correction. The Chargers are actually 1-2.
Are they?
Yeah.
I mean, that's even worse.
If you had asked me last week, I would have told you they were 2-1. I seem to remember them being 2-1, but they're 1-2.
Never mind. Well, they're still, like, even if they were 2-1, it's still bad.
How did they lose last week? Keenan Allen went friggin' off. Like, how did that happen?
And
I
then,
must have
another
missed
team.
the end of that game.
Honorable mention, Detroit Lions. Playing out of their minds.
Yeah, Detroit's been a pleasant surprise if you're a Detroit fan. So before we get on to the winless teams, I'll give my answer on standouts. So number 1, Buffalo Bills. They've been just playing good football. They haven't really, I haven't seen a bad game from the Bills yet. They're doing just enough to win. I don't think anybody had them pegged to go 3-0 starting off in the season. So that's definitely been a good standout. There's a lot of teams, that I think everybody expected would be doing well, like the Cowboys, the Packers, the Saints. They're doing okay. Even the Rams look great week over week, but nobody was saying that wasn't going to happen. As far as I'll also say the Tampa Bay Bucks have looked a lot better than I expected this year. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a homer or anything. They've looked okay.
No.
49ers, obviously, a big one. Chargers have been a huge disappointment for me so far. I think I had them going to the Super Bowl this year. And unfortunately, I'm not too... It's an unfortunate start, but I'm not too worried because they had a slow start last year. The team gelled, came together, and they went on this massive hot streak. They went into the playoffs red hot, so I think they could certainly do that again. And then finally, I got to say, man, the Steelers, I didn't think they would be as bad as they've looked. I know the Big Ben injury has been a part of that, but even when they had Roethlisberger, they struggle moving the ball up and down the field. They look like they're missing a playmaker on offense. I don't feel like they really have that one big playmaker, whereas in the past they had Antonio Brown, they had Le'Veon Bell, and I know, I would have traded him too, But because I mean, look what Antonio Brown has done since.
Yeah.
But they look very. You ever see an offense and they just always look like they're struggling to get that next first down? That's how the Steelers look now, and it never used to be that way.
Also, when you're talking, remind me, Saints and Falcons also look terrible.
Saints, they're 2-1, and they lost Drew Brees, so I can't be too disappointed. The Falcons, what happened?
Yeah.
I don't get it. They do look pretty lost.
Fun fact for DVOA. As long as DVOA has been tracked since 1986, the Miami Dolphins are the worst team ever. By like a long shot. Their DVOA is negative 109.3%. The second worst is the 2001 Washington Redskins at 92.1%. So they're 20% worse.
It doesn't.
And then
it doesn't.
On the flip
surprise me.
side, the Patriots are the fourth best team ever.
Yeah, I mean the Patriots right now are just running like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, even without. Even they keep on losing receivers, and they just keep on going.
To me, it's the system, and I think that's going to be Belichick's legacy. Like when it's all said and done, I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm certainly not a Bill Belichick fan, but I certainly respect it. And like that legacy will be of a team that had a culture and a coach that had a system that was just unbelievably good. And was kind of, I don't know what to, it's like how they say certain things are recession proof, in the economy. I feel like that's how the Patriots have been. They just weather every storm. It's weird.
Yeah.
So winless teams, we got, oh God, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's the third week.
Dolphins, Jets, Steelers, Broncos in the AFC. How many wins do you have those teams winning each?
I mean, each. You missed the Redskins, I think.
Well, I'm doing AFC first because there's a lot of them.
Oh. I mean, I guess to like simplify it, at most 5 wins for the Broncos, and other than that, they're all less than 5. And then NFC, I would say the same thing, probably. Maybe the Redskins get it in this like 6-10 territory, but that I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, Broncos, I think they win 6 max.
Yeah.
Steelers, I would say 6 max. Bengals, I think, are a 3-win team. I think the Dolphins are a 2-win team. I think the Jets are really hard to predict because you don't know what's going to go on with Darnold. If I had to pick now, I'd say they're probably a 4-win team. And then the NFC, there's actually just Redskins and Cardinals that are winless. I mean, I would say I think the Redskins are a little bit better than their record shows. I'm not saying they're like playoff or anything, but I mean, I could totally see them going 6-10. Especially as their defense hopefully gels a little bit more because their defense has been.
They've given up the 28th. They're ranked 28th in defensive or offensive yards, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yards allowed. That's the words.
Exactly, and then Cardinals. I kind of like the Cardinals. They're a little scrappy, so I could see them winning like 5. Right, going into the year, I thought they'd probably win 2.
All right, Alexander. The Switch Lite released, we talked about last week. It's been a week, and it already has the same drifting issue as the original Switch.
That's not good.
And also, someone reported that their Y button isn't working.
I was going to buy one this weekend, and I don't know if I want to. And that really stinks because I'm usually the guy who says it's okay to buy hardware day one. Like, don't worry about it. But
yeah.
Here's the thing. Hear me out on this. This is why I thought it was a mistake for them to not make those Joy-Cons detachable.
Yeah.
I really feel like I know that would maybe drive up the price possibly, or some other things, but what I really like about the full size Switch, the original, is I know multiple people who have had jacked up Joy-Cons. I went over to someone's house and I was playing their Switch and it had drift issues. Just swap it out, right? Not with this built-in one, man. It's gonna take for. It's kind of like when they did the PSP. I like when I worked at GameStop, I'd see so many people bring in PSPs and they'd have a jam button, and it's like, what do? You send it off to Sony for a repair.
Yeah, like with the Switch, if you have a broken Joy-Con, send it in. Just get another Joy-Con or something. This you can't do anything. You can't play it. You have to send it in. It's like the Red Ring of Death.
Exactly. I just I hate to see it, man. And it's very like anti-Nintendo. Like they usually don't have this issue.
Yeah, and someone like they said that the Joy-Con was different than the actual Switch to like fix the drifting issue as your camera goes away.
Yeah.
But someone opened it up and it's literally the exact same Joy-Con. So that's awesome. So as Alexander is away, I move on to the next topic. DCD Film Club selection, Stranger Than Fiction.
Yep.
2006, directed by Mark Forster. And I think I said last episode I haven't seen it, but I instantly, the second it started, I've seen this movie before. So that's fun. It is. Let me pull up the IMDb so I can read about it. It's a drama fantasy movie about an IRS auditor played by Will Ferrell. Here's an author, Emma Thompson, voice in his head, discovers that he is ill-fated protagonist of her latest works. To least spoilery summary, even though it's kind of spoilery.
It is kind of spoilery, but I mean, at this point, the movie's been out 13 years, and come on.
If you haven't seen it, it's on Crackle. Check it out.
Yeah, it's on Crackle. It's free with ads, and it's. I don't know. I'll let Andy lead off. Apparently, he's seen it before. What'd you think of it? Here we go.
it's just fine.
I just have to take one look at Andy's face, and I know exactly where we're going.
There's cool cinematography.
Yeah.
It's just fine. I don't know. To quote, Bobby on our forum, we put out a survey.
Yeah.
Bobby, let me pull up to get the exact wording. He said, Andy needs to stop pooping on everything. His dry approach towards everything is trash. Needs to tone down. And then he said, what the f*** does Andy actually like? Oh. So it doesn't help my case here with Bobby, but it's fine.
Okay, well, I mean, hear me out on this.
Score didn't stand out.
No. I don't think it's meant.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Narration technically is vital to the story to make sense.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a lazy approach of filmmaking.
Okay. That's a fair point.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like vital to the story. You have to narrate the movie, obviously, because that's what the movie's about. But I just think it's nothing like it. It doesn't help that I've seen this movie and didn't know that I've seen it before, which hurts it because it's obviously forgettable. I literally forgot about it.
I don't know, man. I guess I would disagree with the forgettable part. I think a lot of your points are fair. So I really like this movie. Obviously, it's why I picked it. I've watched it a number of times. I like the message behind it. The idea of you can get so caught up in your day-to-day life, your day-to-day routine. You get so caught up in the minutia and the details that you miss like life as it's happening around you. You don't enjoy it. You just like exist and go through it. And I think that's like a really powerful theme that several movies that we've watched have kind of talked about that. Even like last week's pick, kind of did the same thing where it's like you get so caught up in the details sometimes in life.
Yeah.
You miss everything that's good. Everything that brings you joy, it just takes all the joy out of it. And like that's kind of why I like this one. The other thing is the last film I picked was Punch Drunk Love, and it was a guy who was in a bunch of comedy films and did a serious role. Same thing here. And I feel like it's equally successful. I feel like this is one of Will Ferrell's best performances because he did have to play a serious character, and it wasn't so jokey. And there are moments that are funny in this movie. There's no doubt about that. Specifically, a lot of the interaction between Dustin Hoffman and Will Ferrell is very good, and it's comical at times. And I think that's really the strongest part of the movie is, that dialogue. And then later on, the dialogue between him and the narrator, obviously. But overall, really good story. It has a love story in there. So like you could watch this with your wife, I think, or your girlfriend or whatever, and they'd probably like it as well. I love the cinematography on this. There's so many shots that are really cool, really well done. You feel like you're there, especially when he gets hit by the bus. Like the way they did that shot, it was so sudden and abrupt, and like I don't know how many takes they had to do to get it just right, but I mean, it was perfect. I mean,
I don't know if I saw the movie before, but it was kind of obvious to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about, like the first time I saw it, I didn't expect it.
Like I didn't remember how it happened.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I finished it the first time I watched it. I just remember the opening part where he's like counting his steps, like brushing his teeth and stuff.
Yeah.
But like it kind of like I saw through the foreshadowing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, overall, like you said, the score wasn't especially strong. I feel like the writing's good, the cinematography's good, tells a good story, good theme. Maggie Gyllenhaal is pretty good in it. She's pretty likable in this movie. She isn't always that likable in a lot of her work, but I know that's been a common criticism of her over the years. But overall, it was a really good one. Enjoyed watching it again. I feel like it's held up well, too. It's 13 years old. Still looks pretty good. And, if you were into literature at all, which I am, it's kind of a cool movie for that, too. Talking about how, there's comedies, there's tragedies. The writing process can be difficult. Sometimes stories have to have a sad ending for them to be a great story. Not everything has to have a happy ending, even though this story...
according to Film Twitter, all movies have to make you cry to be good.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, that's funny, but it's not true.
If it's not sad, it's not a good movie.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that approach to film at all. Like, I don't think that it has to be dark or morose to... Like, as long as it gets some sort of emotion out of you, I think a film is generally successful on that front. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, you could be a good movie, but not a great movie. I think this one's a really good one. I would put it just under great. So, out of 10, Andy, what are you scoring Stranger Than Fiction?
6.
6, yeah, I had it at 6.5. It's a really good one, and I highly recommend anybody checking it out.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, but God
dang.
It's if you want to check out a Mark Forster movie, Finding Neverland, his second movie, it's really good. Like, Johnny Depp has a horrible accent throughout the entire movie.
Yeah,
but it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I'll check that out.
Yeah, I think it's on. It's on, I think, Crackle as well, or Tubi. I don't know. I remember I watched it with subtitles, or not subtitles. It's on Tubi, which you can use AdBlock for that. What I mean, what and also, what is your favorite Will Ferrell movie? Is another question.
If I had to pick a favorite, this would be up there.
Because mine is like the most, like no one else agrees with me.
I'd probably say Step Brothers.
Yeah, that's a popular one.
Yeah.
Mine's Land of the Lost. My old boss
It's
said
not a
that's the
terrible
worst
one.
movie ever.
It's not a terrible pick though. It's such a Will Ferrell movie.
I don't know. I just love Land of the Lost.
I like a lot of Will Ferrell stuff. I mean, I would struggle to think of one that I didn't like him in. If you're looking for another film that he's done that's serious, where it's a really good performance, I would tell you Everything Must Go is another one to definitely check out. And then like when it comes to the comedies, I like them all. Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, Semi Pro is outstanding.
You haven't seen Holmes and Watson, the new one.
I have to see that still. Hope it's good.
Have fun. Enjoy that one.
I mean, Andy, you don't like most stuff, so I take that with a huge grain
I
of
would
salt.
look up the Rotten Tomatoes score before you call me out on anything, sir, because it's like an 18.
Well, I don't really.
It has 11% Rotten Tomatoes, a 3.8 on IMDb.
I don't care about Rotten Tomatoes. Somebody filled out our survey and filled it out under the username Rotten Potatoes Salad, and I just realized now that it's a Rotten Tomatoes like joke. That's kind of cool. But yeah, I hate Rotten Tomatoes overall. It's like it's so subjective.
I just use Letterboxd.
I like Letterboxd because you know what really matters to me more? I prefer getting user reviews to anything. I mean, you know, I'm not going to get into that whole subject, but everything other than superhero movies, you can generally trust the user reviews. Superhero movies, there's people that have like their heartstrings attached to certain things and characters and companies and all that. But yeah, like overall, Letterboxd is great. I mean, I kind of like it because I can see stuff that like you, Dumbest Sphinx, Drake.
Jared made one that followed me and then didn't follow you.
Ouch.
he made one, rated Pulp Fiction, followed me, and then I guess got off the app.
Ouch, man. So it hurts, dude, right there. Anyway, what was our Patreon pick for next week?
It is 1990s Goodfellas, directed by Martin Scorsese.
Okay, well, I guess what's that movie, like 4 hours long?
I don't know. I don't think it's that long.
It's incredibly long. I want to say it's over 3 hours.
It's 2 hours and 30 minutes. Calm down.
Okay. Well, you know what? It's because every time I've watched Goodfellas, it's been when it's on TV and they run a bunch of ads on it. So it does take like 3 hours to get through it. Anyway, yeah, Goodfellas. It's a really good one. I like it. Looking forward to it. I've seen it a billion times. I assume you've seen Goodfellas a number of times, Andy.
Nope.
Okay, well, tune in next week. Andy will be taking a big, steamy dump all over Goodfellas for one reason or another. I'm sure you will. So,
if you want to get immersed with the Goodfellas world, there's a 30 for 30 about part of it, and 30 for 30 playing for the mob.
Oh, okay.
It ties in with Goodfellas. It's the same people. Like people in Goodfellas, that's about them. Kind of.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's about like a Boston College point shaving scandal.
Oh, yeah, I remember that scandal. I didn't know it was tied in though. To that.
I mean, the people in Goodfellas, they're real life people. Like the characters are real people, and those real people did the point shaving stuff.
I did not know that. I did not know that there was any reality based on that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to research this. This is intriguing to me. Any interesting takeaways from the survey, Andy? Because I always like to ask about that.
No. Besides the fact that Bobby apparently doesn't like me.
I think my favorite Bobby tweet ever was he said something along the lines of he mutes the audio when he thinks you're about to talk.
Yeah.
Like, that's so unnecessary, Bobby.
Who would you like to see as a guest on the show? The responses were Julian, Colby, Daniel, and Ruben.
Those are all great suggestions. I would gladly have any of them on.
As a quick listener question I forgot to put in the notes. Best controller ever? GameCube.
Yeah, I'm going to go GameCube Wavebird.
And then I asked what games are you most excited for in the future? Responses were Lego Star Wars, I think, by Sphinx. That was his response. Bully 2 and GTA 6, Cyberpunk, Destiny 2, Shadowkeep.
Interesting. I know who did Shadowkeep, so there you go. Yeah, well, thanks for filling out those surveys, guys, and we'll be doing Goodfellas next week. Yeah. So, moving on.
By Jared, by the way. I forgot to say that. Oh, Jared's pick.
Great pick by Jared. Now, moving on to sports. Andy has MLB postseason on here.
Yeah.
What about it?
Not every team has clinched the postseason, but it's postseason time. It's got our picks.
Okay.
Postseason starting. So everything's clinched up besides the AL wild card.
So I can't find like a tree right now or a bracket.
The AL wild card right now is the Tampa Bay Rays, Oakland Athletics, or the Cleveland Indians, with the Rays and Athletics on top currently.
Yeah, I think the Rays are going to take it.
I would go with the Oakland A's.
Okay.
And then we have the ALDS. We have the New York Yankees against the Twins.
I'm going Yankees. I hate to say it, but I'm going Yankees.
Yeah, got to go with the Yankees. And the Astros play against wildcard team. Going with the Astros.
Yeah, I'm going with the Astros, and then that would set up, what, Yankees-Astros?
Yeah, Yankees-Astros. I'm going with the Astros to make the World Series.
I like the Astros. I think the moves they made at the deadline make them unbelievably scary.
And then the other side of the ball, the NL wild card is the Nationals and the Brewers. And I'm going with the Nationals.
I'm going with the Brew Crew.
All right. And then that would set them up to play against the LA Dodgers, which the Dodgers are going to win. So.
Yeah, I don't see anybody stopping the Dodgers.
The other side, we have the Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm going with the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, I like the Braves here. I think that'll be a very fun series to watch as well.
And then Braves, Dodgers, I'm actually going with the Braves.
I'm going Dodgers, man.
Yeah. I have Braves, Astros. Astros win. You have Astros, Dodgers.
So I'm going to go Dodgers,
Repeat
dude.
2017.
Yeah.
Dodgers finally win one?
Finally win one.
All right. So we had our picks at the beginning of the year. I had Cubs, Red Sox. Or no, I had Cubs, Astros, Cubs winning. And you had Red Sox, Brewers winning. So our picks don't look great.
That was way off, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got the Astros, but yeah. So next, Melvin Gordon ends his holdout and is returning to the team.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It was all for nothing, basically.
I mean, he has to become a free agent at the end of the year, though.
Well, yeah.
If he doesn't play, he's still on the team next year.
Yeah, but I just, why even hold out?
I mean,
it's gonna hurt his. I just feel like it hurts his value because, like, he's gonna come back. We don't know what shape he's in. They're not gonna work him into the game plan right away, probably. Eckler's been doing really good.
This week he's not going to play, but I assume he'd be starter day one the week after.
Probably, but I mean, it's going to be a shared backfield. I don't know, dude. I don't think this holdout went. I don't think this holdout went the way Melvin Gordon thought it would go. There was the trade request. Nobody really seemed very interested in trading for Melvin Gordon that I saw.
It's because the Chargers shot up his price.
Well, I mean, fair enough. He might help the Chargers get a little bit better, and maybe that helps them get into the playoffs. But I think that truly he hurt his value as a free agent by holding out like this. Could be wrong. Maybe he goes off in the 11 games or whatever it is.
And then Antonio Brown has announced his retirement. He got cut by the Patriots.
Yeah, he was already talking about coming back. Like he already said something to the tune of, well, I might as well just come back because I'm still the greatest or something today on Twitter. So it
was like, when I'm the best, why quit?
There you go. Bingo. Yeah. I don't believe it for a second. I think that the only thing that you might see is maybe he loses his mind completely and goes to the XFL. But that's about it.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. He won't be making any money.
I don't know. I'm sure they could find money to throw his way.
Yeah, I guess. So week 4 of the NFL. We're getting to that. Starting, we have game tonight, the Philadelphia Eagles at the Green Bay Packers. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers. They look great this year.
Then we have the Tennessee Titans at Atlanta, and I'm going with the Tennessee Titans.
I hate betting against the Falcons at home, so I'm going Falcons.
We have New England Buffalo, the battle of the undefeated teams. But New England is New England. I'm going with them.
Yeah, I got Patriots.
Cleveland at Baltimore. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns.
I like the Ravens.
Kansas City at Detroit, another battle of the undefeated teams, and going Kansas City.
Yeah, I think Lions will give them hell, but I'm going KC.
Probably the snooze fest game of this week. We have the Oakland Raiders at the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm going with the Colts.
Colts.
We have the Chargers Miami. I assume we're both going Chargers because
they got to win this one. I think the Chargers really need to win this week, so good opponent to have. Chargers.
Washington Redskins at the New York Giants. And Daniel Jones is great. So I'm going with the Daniel Jones, New York Giants. He looked great against the Bucs defense, to quote ourselves from a long time ago. Bucs defense ain't no Rudy Poo. Todd Bowles is a great defense. They're like a top 10 defense in the league, and he looked good against them.
He made some really good plays last week, and it was a heartbreaker. But I got the Giants here.
We have Carolina at Houston, and I'm going to go with Houston. I don't think Kyle Allen pulls it out for a second week.
You know what, man? I'm going to go Panthers.
Then we have Todd Bowles' Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Los Angeles Rams, and I'm going with the Rams.
East Coast team traveling West Coast. It's always a bad look. Going Rams.
Seattle at Arizona. Going with Seattle. Even though they've kind of looked disappointing this year.
Seattle.
Then we have the Minnesota Vikings at Chicago, and I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm going Bears here.
Jacksonville Jaguars at Denver, and I'm going with the Denver Broncos.
I'm going Jaguars. Minshew Mania.
Dallas at New Orleans, and I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, it's hard not to go with Dallas here.
Then Cincinnati at Pitt, going with the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm going to go Steelers. That's a tough one.
Right.
What a snooze fest for Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I mean, the battle of the unvictorious teams.
Yeah, I mean, what if they tie? That'd be so great, right?
Yeah. So, I forgot to say it before we got into that. Last week, we both went 10-6.
Yeah.
Bringing our overall records. I'm 32-15-1. You're 31-16-1. Our consensus picks are 25-7. Split picks, I'm just one ahead at 9-8-1. And then I went back to all the old episodes and tracked our all-time record. So my all-time record is 121-58-3, and yours is 116-63-3.
I'm a little disappointed in myself last year. This year, I'm only one behind, but it seems like I was about 5 behind last year.
And then consensus-wise, we are 99-33-2, and we hit at a 75% rate. Consensus.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This year, we're 80%. So,
yeah, I usually tell people, like, if you get about 70% of your picks, you probably had a good week. But this year's kind of been a little bit unpredictable. Like, Daniel Jones surprised me. Kyler Murray has been significantly better than I thought. Smith-Schuster out in Pittsburgh really hasn't gone off like I thought he would. You know, there's been some surprises this year, good and bad. The Saquon Barkley injury, oh God, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Giants are gonna have a hard time without him. I don't know.
Their wide receivers are performing, and the Washington defense is Rudy Poo.
It is pretty Rudy Poo. Yeah.
So, yeah, this next film club will start our October Horathon Fest.
Oh yeah.
And so I get 2 picks, you get 1, the fans get 1. Our Next fan pick is horror exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna pick. There's a lot to pick from.
So that's a wrap on this episode. I think it was a short one. I believe my
It was
countdown's
a
correct.
little bit of a shorter one this week, but should be back to normal next week. There's just some stuff going on with me that kind of made this a little bit shorter. Real quick, t-shirt link always in the description. In addition, our Patreon info is in the description as well. Either one of those supports the show, helps us keep it up and running, specifically with podcast hosting costs. You go to patreon.com/DCD podcast and you can see all the perks there. You get early access to the show for as little as $1. You also get to suggest movies for the Patreon pick every 3 weeks. I want to give our current Patreon backers a shout out and a thank you. Daniel and Bobby in the Andy tier, Jared in the Gold tier. So thanks for being supporters and longtime supporters of the podcast. We really appreciate that. And if you can't do either one of those, you just don't want to spend any money, that's cool. I know how that goes. You can always leave us a review on iTunes. That helps us out a lot. So, and if you do that, I will give you a shout out on the show just for fun. Andy, anything else you want to talk about? Maybe Red Sox related or Celtics related? No?
No.
Okay. Well, that's going to do it for DCD 48. We'll see you guys next week.
Adios.